I'm Zakia Ahmed Siddiqi, and what a pleasure to be here. It all began in 2016, right where I'm sitting from, and now it is going to be born. And we're all so amped to see the beginning of Never Give Up. And yes, of course, Never Give Up is a story that all began, like we say, in 2016. And today, what a pleasure it is for me to be speaking to the beautiful, the gorgeous, and she is part of Never Give Up, a Bollywood actress who's doing great things in Bollywood today, and she is Samvedhna. Samvedhna, good day, how are you? Good day, how are you?
I'm very good, Zakia. How are you?
Well, I am absolutely delighted to be speaking to you after so many years. You're still looking gorgeous. Can't wait to see you here in South Africa on the big screen with Never Give Up. Now, Samvedhna, it all began here in 2016, like I say. And tell us about the role that you played in Never Give Up. In Never Give Up.
Okay. So, Never Give Up is a true story. It's based on the life of the Mothie family, and I play Pinky Mothie, and uh, it is the story of this one young girl, how she struggles against all odds, and which was her husband's dream initially. She makes it her own, and how she makes it really happen, and lives a dignified, beautiful, strong life. And I get to play her, and I think that's what the film is about.
Well, it's big shoes that you got to play somewhere, and I think you know that because Pinky Mothie is definitely, we call her the mother of culture, and playing her in a movie, it's awesome. Did you feel it when you were playing Pinky Mothie?
Yes, I did, because it's anyway, as an actor, fictional roles are something that you can decide how you want to go about it. But when you're playing a real person, first of all, to begin with, any real person, you have a responsibility towards this person to be able to show their truth, their journey and their life from their perspective. And then on top of that, this was about Pinky Moti, and not only is this person still there and still kicking ass, if I can say, but she's such a big inspiration there in Durban, in South Africa. So just getting to play her, it's like you said, it's big shoes to fill, because you are hoping that you're getting it right. You're hoping that you're doing justice to her story and how her life has been, and you're able to add to the dignity that that she already carries. And yeah, it was challenging, and it was exciting, and I was also very nervous because I got to meet her, and I used to keep looking at her, keep seeing how she carries herself, and I was hoping that I'm able to bring some of that to the screen, if not a lot.
I can tell you did absolutely fabulous in that role as well as Pinky Mothie. And yes, she's dynamite. And she's keeping our culture alive in South Africa. So we're going to see all of that and so much more in the movie itself. But was it your first time in South Africa?
Yes, I have. I mean, that was the only one time I've come to South Africa, and I'd never been there before. I had heard such good things about it, and I was very, very fascinated with the country. But I'd never been to South Africa, I'd never been to Durban, and this was my first time there, and I loved every moment of it.
South Africa is an absolutely beautiful place. How did you feel? Was there anything in particular about South Africa that you have taken back with you?
Of it, I think the biggest thing I took back with me was the friendships I developed on set, because our cast and crew was very, very international. We not only had people belonging to different communities, but I also got to become like very, very close friends with all of them. The Mothie family, the hair and makeup team, the camera team. I can name a few. The Sneem I'm still in touch with. She used to do my makeup. Verushka did my hair. Jyoti, who did my costumes. There was a guy called Luke, who was from there, who was a camera assistant, and I made friends with all of these people. And I think I still cherish them, and I hope I'm able to someday come back and meet all of you guys again.
Well, we hope so too, and we hope to see you very soon. And yes, the names that you have mentioned is one that you're going to remember forever, because that's what we do in South Africa. We keep friendship going, and that's what we are going to be doing with Never Give Up. and of course the Mothie family as well. Now, we touched a bit on you playing Pinky Mothie, and it's a story of resilience, a story of sheer determination. How did you actually prepare for this role? Because you've never met her before, and here you are in South Africa, and like you say, it could have been a bit daunting. So how did you prepare to play Pinky Mothie?
So, I mean, this is like any other thing that you work on, any other project, because first it begins with the script always. And even though we just got down to Durban and started shooting, but I had the script in advance, and I was told about Pinky Modi. I of course read the script, and although a lot of us go through different life experiences, but the emotions felt by human beings are pretty much universal: falling in love, heartbreak, losing somebody important, trying to make your dreams come true. So the way I work is I try and put myself in that person's shoes, and I try and imagine how it must have been for her. So I belong to today's time, and I belong to India, and my struggles are different. But I think as a girl, as a woman, there are certain things that you go through in life which are very universal. So I was trying to have some, like, look at a character, look at a human being from empathy, and see what are the common points between you and this person. And even though I'd never met Pinky before, when you read her story, it is so inspiring and so universal also in a way, right? I mean, girls or women all across the world, I mean, the things that you have to fight for, you don't get things easily. And I think that I could relate to. So I think that is the part that you begin with, where you're able to just look at yourself in this person's shoes. And the other part was, of course, when I got there. So it was not about trying to mimic her or trying to, trying to ape her. It was trying to get Pinky's essence, trying to convey her journey and her story with authenticity. And I think that's what I've tried to do. And I hope I've succeeded at that.
So you mentioned, sorry about that, Samvedhna. You mentioned some of the people that you met, and who will become firm friends with you forever. But you also worked with a diverse bunch of people, if I can say that, diverse cast as well. What was, I know, unfair, right? But what was your favorite part of collaborating with your fellow actors and the director of this project as well?
Okay. So I'm going to begin with the director because, of course, Amit sir is from India, and although we never worked before this film together, but what he knew about me through some of the Gujarati films that I had done initially in my career. He's a Gujarati as well, so he had seen my work, and I remember I had gone to audition for some other Marathi film or something, and I'd run into him in the office, and he mentioned some work that I had done, and then he just offered this film to me, and I completely, because I didn't know anybody in South Africa. I didn't know the Mothie family, anything. So it was him believing in the story and wanting to make it, and I just came along to fulfill his dream. So that was one, and it was lovely working with him because I think it must have been challenging for him as well, right? He's not from South Africa, so to be able to come to a different country and to be able to make a story which again has a universal appeal. So I think hats off to him. And as far as the cast and crew in South Africa, I have to, of course, Rajiv was so much fun to work with because he's my age. We were young, we were, also I was getting to learn about his family and his struggle and about his father because he lost his father pretty young, and the story talks about that. So it was very interesting interacting with him and understanding how they are trying to, make something which is very similar to Bollywood but have their own industry there. So that was a very big learning experience for me. And other than that, I have to point out Pranesh Maharaj sir. It was a joy to work with him because he was so passionate about acting, and he seemed to. I mean, of course, he had some other job, but he was so passionate about it that he would make his own plays and he would do these performances. And I could see that he was thrilled to be on set because it was a dream come true for him to be able to act in a movie. And I was very happy for him. And he was a very giving actor. He played my dad, and I remember him. I remember him very fondly, and I think it was lovely working with him. Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to use this moment, Samvedhna, to speak about Pranesh Maharaj a little bit. And you must have heard about his unfortunate incident. And I know that during this movie, sorry, yes, carry on.
Not yeah. Sorry, I found out through your Facebook page. In fact, I had no idea.
Yeah, and it's this very sad thing that has happened, but I think through this movie, Never Give Up, he will be remembered and he will live on for, like you say, what an amazing actor. And he could just play any role and do justice to it. And if I can say this, I stand to be corrected, but I think Never Give Up was actually one of his last projects that he had done. So it's great to be here today talking to you, Samvedhna. You mentioned Rajiv, and we all know the story. For those who are following the Mothie story, is that Rajiv was a little boy when his dad passed on. So the movie, of course, is one that is full of emotion. It's very challenging as well, especially I think the emotional side of it, because you see a lot of that coming up in the movie. Very intense. It is, after all, the story of Pinky Mothie and the family. What part of it did you find challenging? And what brought about this actor in you?
So I have to say, I think the standout scene, which was a little hard and emotional, was the bit where Senior Moti is not well and he's admitted in the hospital, and Pinky is waiting for some good news, some hope, and she's hoping against hope that this is going to be okay. But there is this moment where she gets a phone call and they tell her that he's no longer there, and she's surrounded by these young children of hers, and she doesn't have the heart to tell it to them that their father's gone. And just receiving that news and that particular scene and the way we did it. And I remember Amit sir had a different way he wanted to do it, and then I had a different idea, and then we collaborated on that, and then we came to the same point. And I remember, so I could, I mean, touch wood, but my dad is still around, but my father had a heart attack when I was very young, when I was in class 2. And I at that time didn't even understand the concept of death, but I knew that my father was not well, and that had a very, that stayed with me. And I remember, to perform this scene, um, we kind of used a little bit of method acting, where I got Verushka, who was doing my hair. I got her to stand behind behind the door, and I got her to talk to me about my father and him getting a heart attack. And that was very, heart wrenching for me as a human being and as an actor, because I wanted to very authentically portray that, the loss of somebody who's so close to you. At the same time, I was using my father's memory, and but I was also thinking about what the Mothie family would have gone through at that time, and the children were really, really young, to even experience something like that must have been heartbreaking. And I think that was a difficult scene, and also a very emotional one. And I remember that. Yeah. I'm sorry, did I make you cry?
Oh, lots.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's the reality of it.
I'm sorry.
No, it's terrible. My makeup. I didn't expect to do that. I think because I know the family so well that you feel it. It's like you feel you when you watch the movie, you will actually feel it. It's not just a movie about another person. It's a movie about what we all feel. We all have lost somebody in our lives, and when you know what the Mothie family has done for culture, for entertainment in the country, I think at that time with Mothie Sahab, it was, and it still is, um, a huge loss. So yeah. So Vedna, South African cinema, it really has a very unique voice and also perspective as well. How do you think Never Give Up contributes to the rich, absolutely rich tapestry of South African storytelling? And what message does it convey to the world?
So I honestly feel that, like I said, I met these beautiful second, third, fourth generation Indians, South African Indians, who now have an identity of them, themselves, because they are Indians, but they're also South African, and there's such a beautiful, vibrant mix of both the cultures that they are living with. And I feel like Never Give Up will become a milestone in representing this community, because and see, that's the whole part, because when I visited the homes of all the people that I knew there, the Indians there, I saw that they were listening to Bollywood songs, they were singing along Hindi songs, but they didn't necessarily know the meaning of what they were singing. But they had this passion for Hindi songs and Bollywood and Hindi films. So I feel like they're going to be very proud of of Never Give Up, because it is going to be now their own film, which is telling their own story, and now they have a film to talk about, which represents this community, which is a very particular community, which is South African and Indian at the same time. So I think in that perspective, Never Give Up is going to be a landmark that way.
Certainly will be, and there's lots of people who misunderstand, and I think Never Give Up has now gone international. It's taken it to an international level where South Africans, by the way, Samvedhna, I gotta tell you, we understand the language very well here, and I think that's what Never Give Up is going to take to the rest of the world, is that yes, we've managed to keep our Indian heritage alive here in South Africa, and that's what the movie is definitely going to be proving. Now, I'd love to hear what you're going to say for the next question. Now, I know there's lots of behind the scenes anecdotes and, of course, moments that you probably will have gone through, and some that you would remember while on set as well. What would you believe are some of them that the audience would find very interesting and entertaining as well?
I have to think. Okay, I mean, I don't know if this is entertaining, but I have to say that the story that I'm about to tell you again goes on to show the dedication of everyone involved, like every little department. And this story is about Verushka. She was doing hair and she had an accident in the middle of our shoot. I mean, not during shoot, but like afterwards while driving home or something. And she was admitted in the hospital. I think she broke her rib. She had a plaster on her hand. But the next day, and she sent a girl to do my hair and to do everybody else's hair, and we had a big scene. I think I don't remember if it was a marriage scene but it had a lot of other actors as well. And she came on set, from the hospital with a broken rib to just make sure that everyone's hair was perfect. And that is how much everybody was dedicated to this film, because I think this film was more like an emotional thing for everybody. It was not just like a job that everyone was doing. And I feel like, I don't know if this is entertaining, but I feel like it's an important story, because I feel people don't get to know about these things that happen behind the set.
Well, there you go, Vanishka. Well done. That's something Samvedhna remembers as well. So, as an actor, this is another question coming up for you. What do you hope the viewers will take away from Never Give Up, both in terms of entertainment and the film's underlying message?
Okay, in terms of entertainment, I think it's very simple, because in a way that I'm sure the audience there watches Bollywood films, so now they have their own film which can give tough competition to Bollywood films. It's got tragedy, it's got drama, it's got a little bit of comedy going on, it's got songs, dance, an item number which is so Bollywood, in a way. So I think it's got a mix of everything. So entertainment wise, I mean, without a doubt, like, this is going to be fun. But I think on a more serious note, this film is, first of all, it's inspirational because it's a true story. All of this has actually really happened, and all the people involved in the story are involved in the movie. And what the title of the film says, Never Give Up, and it is Pinky's journey, where she faced the hardships that she did at a very, very young age, but to actually make all of this happen and to become what she's become today. I think this movie is going to be deeply, deeply inspiring for anyone and everyone who watches this movie. So, yeah.
And that's a message that you take away from the movie as well, although there's so many more, but one that Samvedhna would always remember too.
So when we had a small screening of this film in Mumbai, a colleague of the director, I know him from my own film school, he was there. And when we walked out of the movie, he came and congratulated me and he said, "Hats off, you carried a film on your shoulder," which I think for me was a big confidence booster because this was like we shot this film quite a while ago. And at that time, for somebody to tell me that you were able to carry a film on your shoulders, for me as an actor, it was such a huge compliment, because it helped me believe in myself a lot more. And I think it just gave me a little bit more confidence that, I can do this. Because as an actor, you're almost always living in self doubt. There's so much rejection that you face on a daily basis. So I think being like a lead role in a feature film and being appreciated for that, I think it helped me believe in myself a lot more, if nothing else. So I think that's what Never Give Up gave me. The film became an inspiration for me as well. So yeah.
So finally, this has been such an interesting interview. What advice would you give to aspiring actors, especially those who are wanting to make a mark in the international film industry? And based purely on your experiences with Never Give Up.
uh so when you're saying internationally now, because of the arrival of Amazon and Netflix and all of these platforms, today an actor living in any part of the world can become a part of projects which are being done in different countries. Because now what happens is they want actors to represent the different countries. And because everything is being watched everywhere, it's not just related to a specific country. You can become a part of anything that you aspire to.
So there you go. You have an opening. Yes, join BigM Productions. Become a dancer because it all started here in the BigM Productions studios. And this is where we are at. Thank you so much, Samvedhna, for joining us and sharing your experiences. You brought us tears, you brought us laughter, and thank you once again for joining us. And yes, you've heard all about the movie from this beautifully talented young lady. And remember, you can catch this movie on the 27th of October at a screen near you. It will bring out so many emotions in you. It will give a story that you can relate to because it certainly is a big M production and it says, never give up.